Hey everybody, how's it going? I guess we're live. It looks like we're live. Let me know if you can see me and hear me here and there, because I'm not previewing the stream here on my devices because I don't have a lot of bandwidth, so try to, I guess, save it. So, I hope everybody's having a good Monday evening. The weekend went by pretty fast. It seems like the week goes by pretty fast now. It seems like just a couple of days ago we were doing this stream. So let's see in the chat here, just make sure everything's going good. Looks like sound and video looks good and sounds great. Good. Seems to be okay on my end as well. If anything kind of goes weird or whatever, just let me know in the chat. Let's have a look in the chat and see who's in tonight. We've got Sonia. How's it going, Sonia? Welcome. She was the first one in, so should she get a prize? Give me a thumbs up, everybody, if Sonia should get a prize for being the first one in. Maybe that's a new thing we should start now. The first one in the chat gets a prize. How about that? Who else we have? David Ennis. How's it going, David? Gary Holt. Hi. How's it going, Gary? R2, R3. How's it going? R2, did you get your Les Paul yet? I'm still waiting for that that video and that message saying you finally found your Les Paul. Let's see, who else do we have? Jason Wade, how's it going, brother? Always have Jason on board, which is always cool. Thanks for doing the moderation and everything, Jason. That's really cool of you, because I don't know what I'm doing with that stuff, so it's all good. Okay, let's go down the chat here. Who else we've got? Jimmy T. How's it going, Jimmy? We've got a few people in tonight. Let's see who else we've got. Perfect. So yeah, it's been a crazy week as far as work goes, and got some projects on the go and still finishing up the studio stuff, so that's always keeping me busy. And winter's here in full swing here in Ontario, Canada. We're supposed to get another storm tonight, so that should be a lot of fun. Denny Allen, how's it going, Denny? Thanks for joining us. And so tonight we've got some stuff to go over, and we're going to do some Q&A as well. So if you've got questions or you want to discuss a subject or anything, just feel free to put something in the chat, and we'll definitely do our best to get to it. We'll be looking at a few things tonight as far as gear. I've got a new little segment that I want to try tonight as well. New in a way, but it's kind of different, so we'll see how that goes. I've got the mixer all set up now so that I can bring in the Helix, or I can bring in the amp. I didn't get my aux box yet. It was supposed to be in last week, Thursday or Friday, but the shipping company that sends out the order for the music store that I'm dealing with as far as getting that did not get it out because of NAM craziness and stuff, so they have promised me that by Thursday or Friday of this week I will have it, so I will be able to hopefully show you that next Monday and go through it this weekend, and I'm looking forward to that. But I did pick up another thing for the studio, which I did a live stream on Wednesday, not a scheduled one, but something. I was testing out some equipment, and what I was finding some issues with using my mic and guitar and so forth and so forth. So I was looking for a solution to that, and I did find something, so I'll show you that a little bit later. And that seems to be working out well, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see, make sure. Hey Marsman, how's it going? Glad to have you on board. It's nice to see all you guys on Monday here. I really appreciate you guys joining this show and coming in, showing your support. It's greatly appreciated because all this is very new to me, and I'm really trying to produce stuff on a consistent basis. Today I released a video. I do a jamming kind of series that I like to cover a song. Most of them I'm just playing the bass and the guitar parts on it, and I just put my own thing to it. And I did try one last year singing, so I'm going to try a few more singing this year, but the one that I posted today, I wasn't going to attempt that one singing wise. That was Carry On My Wayward Son by Kansas. So it's a song that I grew up listening to and really loved, and so I wanted to give that a shot. So that was released today. If you get a chance, check it out. It's on my channel. And I'm not sure what the next one will be as far as the next one in the series, but I'll definitely be posting something at least once or twice a month regarding the jamming series. So we'll see how that goes, because I put a lot of stuff in those videos as far as you know, I do the video editing, I cut different angles, and I do all the recording in Studio One. So I'll bring in the drum tracks and everything, and then I'll record all my guitar parts and the bass parts and so forth. So it is a little bit of work, but I enjoy doing it. Plus it gives me a little bit more experience using the equipment that I've got all set up here. So it's always fun. So, and it's nice to play songs that I've grew up listening to and I always wanted to play, never really got a chance to play when I was playing in bands and stuff. So that's a lot of fun. So let's see, we'll go back to the chat before we hit the news. Hey EVH, how's it going? You just woke up from a nap. Nice. You're probably getting hit with the snow right now because we're supposed to get it tonight, so you're probably going to get it first. Hope it's not too bad, because I do have a live stream production at the studio in the city that I have that's scheduled to go tomorrow. That's for my full-time job. It's medical college, so we're doing a full live stream session tomorrow, and if I don't show up, then the live stream doesn't happen because I'm the engineer. So hopefully I can get there. If not, then they'll have to postpone and probably do it next week, because I am not going to be risking anything traveling to the city if it's freezing rain and craziness. It's just not worth it. So they're pretty good about it though. My work, they know that, you know, you're not going to risk your health and safety to do something that can be postponed for a week or so. Let's see, Janice. Hey, how's it going, Janice? Thank you for joining us. I think Janice is in, I'm not sure, but Nashville maybe, or is it Connecticut? One or the other. I know we spoke about going to Nashville. Maybe that's why that sticks in my head. Let's see. EVH says that's a tough one to sing for sure. Yeah, and I'm not a singer. I did my first little singing thing just before Christmas. I just wanted to try something. I spoke about stepping out of your comfort zone, and I definitely did that. And I wanted to do it before the year ended last year, so I released a video. I believe it was in December, just before Christmas last year, and it was a country song, Vince Gill song. And I played the guitar, did the bass, and I sang that one. So that was the first time I've ever done singing wise, and I played in a lot of bands and stuff, and I did a little backup singing, but very little. I was never a guy that was comfortable on the mic. So I like to speak about stepping out of your comfort zone as something you should do on a regular basis to grow as a creator or musician or artist or whatever you want to call yourself. If you're creating content, to kind of step out of that zone to kind of push you a little further. So I did sing that one. I did okay, I guess. I'm not, you know, I'm not a singer, so I'm still learning, and that was quite tough. But this song, yeah, Kansas, you're not going to you're not going to catch me trying that one right away anyway. It's a goal someday to be able to attempt that and maybe pull it off, but we'll see. Let's see what else we've got here. Gary Holt says he'll be heading over to Kramer's house tomorrow to watch the feed with him. Oh, cool. Yeah, Eric's got a show happening. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, Eric. An interview you did while you were in California at the Kramer house. So I think that's going live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. if I'm not mistaken. You can put it in the chat, Eric, if you'd like. Let everybody know when that's happening. So definitely check that out. That should be really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Okay, yeah, Janice is in Connecticut. Sorry. I know we spoke about going to Nashville, so maybe it's a wish of leaving the north to go a little bit south. Let's see. Eric says, got a bit of it here, not too bad at the moment. Oh, you're probably talking about the snow. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay, so I guess we'll jump into news first. Eric says, yes, indeed. It's part 1 is tomorrow at the house. Okay, is it at 9 o'clock? If it is, you can post that up there too. Just tell everybody it's at 9. So let me go to our news. Let me see if I can do this again. Obviously, I've got multiple things happening here because I'm crazy that way. Okay, bear with me. We'll go to our news of the week. All right. That was my little news graphic, by the way. You know, you got to have fun with this stuff, right? I tend to try a bunch of different things, anything I get into, and it's just for fun, right? So let's see. Okay, so for news, okay, so Eric says yes, 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely go to Eric's channel tomorrow, EVH and Gear TV Network, and get really see that interview because it should be really good. I need a jacket for that segment. Yes, yes, that's a good point. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future. All right, so let me go to my other screen here. There we go. So one of the major news stories that happened last week was the loss of a real pioneer in our industry, Jim Dunlop. He died last week. He was 82 years old, and what a pioneer. And I think we all use his gear. We all have something of his, whether it's even a pick or something like that. The guy was pretty influential and did a lot of stuff in our industry. There's a story in this little article that I found very very amusing, since I am Canadian and it's about Canada. He was born in Glasgow, and he founded the Dunlop company in '65, so over 50 years in business. That's amazing. And he was a chemical engineer, imagine, and he wasn't going into this industry or something. It's something that he started as a part-time business, and not after he started doing that part-time, this is a story from Canada, the part of Canada that I found pretty entertaining here. He says that he located to Canada not long after starting the company, or just before starting the company. It doesn't say here, but it says he got a postcard from a friend, and in that postcard it had a picture of a bikini-clad lady, and it said 90 degrees in Muscle Beach, and his friend was in Ottawa. So Jim, I guess he went to Ottawa thinking that that's what he was going to get. So he got to Ottawa, and it was 12 degrees below, and he says, I decided I'm getting the hell out of here, is what he says in this article. So I found that funny. But he then relocated to San Francisco, and that's where he really produced all his great gear and did a lot of great stuff. So definitely an icon, and somebody that in our industry anyway, that as far as guitars and music, that was a very influential person. So that was one story, and then a major one. I don't know if, let me just go back to the chat, make sure. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So let me make sure that everything's good here. Everything's looking good there. So I'm just checking my stream, making sure that everything is okay. It says okay. So let me know if you're having issues on your end. Yeah, he will be missed, and but his products and his innovations and stuff will live for a long time, and we'll get a lot of use out of all that gear that he's created. I know I do. I have MXR pedals. I use some of the picks, straps, and I mean, who doesn't, right? There's a bunch of stuff. One of the other stories that I want to talk about, something kind of weird. Like, it's not weird, but it's something that bugs me a little bit. Do you guys remember this? This is Milli Vanilli. And you're probably saying, Brian, what the hell are you doing? What are you talking about, Milli Vanilli here, right? It was about almost 30 years ago that they had this huge scandal, right, about being caught lip syncing, where they were, I guess, they were on a, I don't remember what it was, I'm looking here. It was on a TV show, it doesn't really say here what it was, but anyway, they were singing to a track, and I'm sure all you guys know this stuff, right? And the track started skipping. So they were found out that they were lip syncing and they weren't performing. And even though they probably sang the songs, I guess, when they recorded them and that, but they got caught, right? So why do I bring that up? Well, this week, Kiss started their, I guess, whatever their last tour or their greatest tour, whatever they're calling it this time. And I don't say that like without, you know, with any ill feelings towards them or anything, but, you know, at some point you gotta figure it out. But anyway, they were in the news, and they were caught again. I mean, it's not the first time, and it's that they were caught lip syncing. And I don't know if I can, I'm going to try to play this on here, right? So here's the video, and I don't know on your screen if you're going to be able to see this, but let me just back this up. So if I play this, you're going to see that Paul is at the mic there, and he's going to back away from the mic, and he's going to do his little thing, and you're going to hear the track. The track will be him screaming and stuff, and he's nowhere near the mic when this happens, and he knows it's a screw up because he turns around because the drum cue or something went off too early, and that's why he wasn't at the mic or something, and the explosion that happened wasn't on time, or was on time but he was off. And he looked back and he was pissed, and there was a big story in Vancouver about this. Happened in Vancouver, by the way, and there was a big story about it. And so anyway, so let me try to play this. You tell me if you can see this, but let's So did you catch that? I mean, he's way from the mic, he's not even near the mic, and this scream happens, and then he looks back at Eric and he points at him saying, you know, you screwed up or something, right? So anyway, this is nothing new, I don't think. I think a lot of people know that Kiss has been doing this for a while now, since they've gotten older, and they probably can't perform the songs to their fullest, or they do have to bring backing tracks and stuff. But to me, it's a little disappointing to see some bands like that, and why it's so disappointing is these bands are going out on these last tours, or these big tours that they're promoting, and they're talking about, you know, charging crazy money, like to go to this concert in Vancouver. I think like a minimum price was $150 or even more maybe to see this concert, right? And maybe a lot of the fans don't care, they just want to be there for the experience, they want to see the guys on stage. And it's not even all the, I mean, Ace Frehley's not there, Peter Criss is not there, and it's not even, you know, if it was that, at least there'd be a little bit more credibility. But I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. But one of the, I'll show you this, and I showed you this in my first, this was like my first ever album, right? So in 1975, well, this is when this came out, but I think I got it in 78. I was like 8 years old, and I was just getting into music and stuff, and this was the album that kind of sparked my interest in music and so forth. So I do have, like, I'm not a big Kiss fan anymore, and after they split up with Ace, I kind of lost interest, but they were an important band in my childhood as far as growing up and stuff. So when I see things like that, it really bugs me. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it is what it is, I suppose. But don't go out there and fake it. And they're lying about it now in the press. They've been called out on it, and they're saying no, everything was fine and nothing happened, that was all the way it was supposed to be. But everybody knows it's not, right? And I guess there's been other things during the last tour that people caught that, you know, that are online and for people to see. So at least own up to it. Say, yeah, we do have some backing tracks that, you know, during the night that help us to get through these sets and get through these songs. As they get older, I guess they want to be able to do that, whatever, but own up to it, and don't charge people these crazy amounts of money, because they're going there expecting to see a performance, and unless you're just going there to see the stage and listen to a CD playing in the back, I don't know. That's not me. Let's see what we've got here. Gary Holt says, oh no, not Milli Vanilli. My sister lived with the one that's still, really? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because one of them killed himself, and I think it was after that whole fiasco, and he never recovered from that, right? And that was a huge thing. R2 says, Paul Stanley's voice has gone a long time ago. Yeah, it has, and I understand that, but I think you still got to own up to, you just can't lie and charge people and say that this is all real, and I don't know. I think you gotta, and for me, it's an important band in my history to see this. It's like, really? I mean, at some point, maybe you get out of the game when you can't do it anymore. I think bands like, I'm trying to think, I'm sure there's been bands that have kind of called it a day and on a high note type of thing. They went out and they knew they couldn't do it anymore, and they, you know, they didn't soak people for more and more and more. So I guess that's one of the issues I have with it as well. EVH says, love that album. Yeah, the Kiss Alive album was huge. And the funny thing about the Kiss Alive album was that it wasn't live. Well, I mean, it was live. They caught, you know, live, but they went back into the studio and recorded a lot of tracks, and other people played on those tracks to fix some of that, because they added more, like the crowd and things like that, enhanced it and everything else. So it wasn't like, here's a live album. They made it, you know, be a lot more than what it actually was at the show, which is fine. I mean, and when you play it, you know, you get a sense of this is live and it's awesome and everything else. So, but that's funny, even that album, when it was done, it's not a live album. Well, it's a live album, but added a lot of stuff, and parts are redone, and all kinds of stuff happened with that. Let's see. Everyone had that album. I would stare at that double LP. Yeah, I know, me too. I had posters all over my wall, and it was pretty cool. Gary Holt says, Eric, Flogging Molly is playing soon. Oh, okay, so you're speaking to Eric. Okay. Jason says, I think it's because they know people pay money to hear the songs from their childhood in the way they remember them. Yeah, I suppose, but you know, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just, if I go see them or I see a band live, I want to see the guys playing. I don't want to be hearing a track. I mean, it's fine if you have like a track that has a keyboard thing or whatever, because you don't have a keyboard player and in the song you had it or whatever. Even that, I don't want it. I'd rather just have the guitar players playing the guitar and that's it. But backing tracks, I don't know, not really my thing. Let's see. Yeah, EVH says mostly overdubbed. Yep. Yeah. Believe it or not, Van Halen does a ton of overdubs too. Right here, right now was heavy overdubs. Even the crowd cheers were copy and pasted. Yeah. So maybe that's just the way it is, right? And a lot of people do it in the industry. And some people report it, some people don't. The way I found out a lot of the history behind that album was there was an interview with who produced it. Who produced this album here? Let me just have a quick look. Eddie Kramer, yeah. And he was in an interview and he said how they did the whole thing and everything. So that's out there, so that's known. Jason says, I agree. If they can't perform up to par and expectation, then they should go out on top, per se. Yeah, that's how I feel as well. Gary Holt says, Brian Cote, ignore my comments. I tend to... That's okay, Gary. You can ramble, because this show is Monday Night Ramble, so go right ahead. Yeah, in the right place, Gary. So that was the news part. Let me just see here. How are we doing for time? We're doing good. We've got there. Okay, so let me go back to this camera shot here. Get rid of that. So those were really the only two things that I had as far as news stuff goes. I guess what I can do now is I can show you. So one of the issues I was having with my studio setup here, or with this live stream setup, is when I play guitar live or I'm going through my Helix or whatever, the mic that I have on me picks up the picking of the string, so I have to, you know, mute the mic, and that's fine, I can do that, but my mixer's over there, so you got to reach over there and remember to unmute it. Also, the receiver, the transmitter and the receiver are close by, and I could mute it from that, but again, it's another step. So I was looking for like a little box or a little converter that I could have right on my desk or on the floor, that I could have like a stomp box on it, and I would just click it on and off, and that would work well. So let me show you what I found. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's see, where is my phone? Yeah, there it is. So this little box here is pretty cool, because what it does is I plug a mic, which is my mic, into there, and then I plug an output into my mixer, and then one output I leave empty. So what happens is, as soon as I hit this switch, so and I hit that, then it muted my mic, because output B is going to nowhere. You can use it that way, and you can also use it if you had you wanted your mic to go to a different source or whatever. You could switch sources. But this was a cool find, because I was looking for something, and this sells for like $150 or something, because this is from a Canadian company called Radial, and I have a lot of their gear, and they make some great stuff. And I went online and I started checking pawn shops, and there's a pawn shop chain in Ontario called Hawk Shop, I believe, and they had an inventory list on their website, and lo and behold, this thing was on there, and it was at the Alliston store, which is close, like 10 minutes from me, so it just worked out awesome. So I picked this up for like 40 bucks, and that was because they sell for 150 plus tax here in Canada. So that was a good find, and I think it's a good addition to the studio, because now I can mute that, and if I'm playing guitar, I can also put it on the ground and just use, you know, stomp on it to mute the mic, mute it back. The only thing I'd wish that this thing would have would be like a little light on each source saying, okay, this one's on or that one's on, because right now I can still forget. I can mute and then play or whatever, and then when I'm done playing, I'll start talking maybe, and I'll forget to hit the switch. So until I get used to that, you know, that's the kind of thing you're gonna have to deal with sometimes, right? Let's see in the chat. Eddie Kramer produced some Hendrix, right? Yes. Eddie Kramer was a huge producer back in the day, and I don't know when, if he might still do it. I don't know. Let's see. EVH says, I only use wireless lapels once in a while, but I can push the mute button right on my Rode belt pack transmitter. But this is somewhere. Yeah, I have got the belt pack for the Sennheiser wireless is what I'm using now, and there's a mute switch, but it's just a little switch there, and then sometimes it's just easier to just have that button on the desk and hit it. If, you know, for me anyway, that's kind of, and I wasn't going to pay like 150 bucks just for this box, so when I found it at the pawn shop, it worked out okay. They have another box, a radio box, where you can plug like 4 mics into it. You can turn on phantom power. You can, you know, if you wanted to test out 3-4 mics, you could put them all in and then cycle between them in a recording session or something like that, and really do a lot of cool stuff with it. But that box is like 400 bucks. Radio makes it, so I didn't need something like that. Not right now, anyway. Let's see. Gary Holt says there's an Epiphany acoustic electric at the pawn shop here for 150 bucks, but it's pretty hammered. Epiphone. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought you were saying. Epiphone, yeah. Yeah, when I was at the pawn shop, I looked at some of the guitars they had there. They didn't have much. They had like just some stuff that I didn't even know the names of or whatever, just some cheap stuff, right? I think that they had, they had some Fender acoustics, like I guess they're really cheap acoustics or whatever, because they were selling them for like $200 or something like that. But yeah, sometimes I guess you can find some good stuff at pawn shops if you know, you get lucky. You look around and who knows, right? But anyway, so let me go back to my shot here. Okay, cool. And I'll shut this phone here. I like this little phone setup too, because that was the shot you previously with the showing you the mic switcher or whatever. That was done using my iPhone, and my iPhone is not even wirely connected to my computer. I'm using something called NDI, which is Network Device Interface, that works with different software. OBS, it works with OBS as well. I'm using Wirecast, it works with that. And at work I use a TriCaster, and all that NDI stuff is really powerful, because as long as your device is on the network, your switcher or your system can see it. So that gives you open possibilities to use different cameras. You can use your phone as well. Like they have an app for the iPhone that's NDI enabled, so I can use it as a camera and it doesn't have to be hooked up, and I can walk around the studio and show you some stuff. So that's working out well. As long as the devices are all on the same network, it works really nice. So, and that's called NDI if anybody's interested. Okay, so Jason says, what finish is the Les Paul you used earlier today? Mohave. All right, well that's a good segue into what we're going to be talking next. So let me run that clip. Let's see, 1:30. Okay, so here we go. So the other segment that I wanted to start today was kind of a guitar spotlight, more of showing you one of my guitars, and typically what I'd like to do with this segment is if I record like I did today, and I launched that song today, which was Carry On My Wayward Son, the guitar I used in that song. So Jason, you're asking about that Les Paul, and that's the Les Paul that I'll show you. So you know, just to kind of show you a little close up, maybe run through you know, a few sounds with it or whatever, and answer any questions you might have regarding that guitar. So it's just a quick little guitar spotlight. We don't spend too much time on it, but something I thought that might be of interest to you guys. So before we do that, let me just double check the chat. Okay. All right, so let me run this this little thing here. Gotta jump for a moment, guys. Eric Jr. lost his internet connection, and you know what that's like. I hear you, Eric. Get over there before he freaks out, because he needs his internet. So, okay, I'm gonna roll this here. All right, so let me just see here what's going on with this. Oh, it's the phone, sorry. All right, so the guitar we're looking at, and I'll switch camera here so we'll get a better angle of it. It's the 2016 Les Paul Standard, and you can probably get a better close-up of the color. Color, I guess, is official name for it, I think it's Mojave Burst or something like that. And here's the headstock of it, and it's got locking Grover tuners on it. It's got the slim profile 60s neck. It has burst bucker pickups with the pull pods on them, and to split the coils and stuff like that. Let me see. Let me just flick that on. You should be able to hear that. Let me just change my camera angle to the back here, and I'll have to mute the mic when I'm actually playing, but just to go through, a few little things with the guitar. Let me see if I've got any if you've got any questions regarding this, just let me know. There it is. So yeah, Jason, you were right about the color. This is my, I'd have to say, my number one as far as the guitars that I own. It's the one that I reach for the most as far as when I'm playing. Let me just change my camera angle here. So let's see. Can you see? Yeah, maybe you can see that. So if I've got these headphones now, that's going to be another thing I've got to figure out how to deal with that. But anyway, this guitar sounds amazing. I use it for a lot of stuff. Most of the tracks that I've recorded as far as originals so far, I got this guitar in the summer, and it wasn't something I expected to buy. I went into a music store and I was just going in to look around and stuff, and they had this guitar on the wall, so I said, let me try that. It looked really nice, and wasn't really in the market for a Les Paul at the time. So, but anyway, when I tried it, it felt really nice as far as the feel. The sound was amazing. And then they had this, because it was a 2016 model and they were selling it in 2018, obviously, they had a great deal on it. I think these sell for today. They sell, if you go to one of the music stores in Canada or Toronto anyway, they're anywhere from 32 to 3,600 plus tax in Canada. They had this one on for just over 24. They're trying to get rid of it, I guess, or to move the stock, and so I jumped on it, and it's been my number one guitar. And I love all my guitars. I've got some great guitars here, as you know. I've got a Friedman, a SMEER, I've got another Les Paul, and SG, and I love all those guitars, and I play them all the time. But for some reason, every time I come in here to pick up a guitar just to play for a few minutes or whatever, or to record, I always go to this. And when I say record, I usually record a couple of tracks. So I'll record something like the Kansas song. I played it all with this guitar, but sometimes I'll play one track with this and then another track with a Tele, and then I'll blend both of them, left or right or whatever, just to kind of give me a blend of stuff. But this guitar is really awesome. So right now, let me mute the mic. And this is going through the Helix right now. And I think you should be able to hear that. Yeah, you should be able to hear that. So yeah, that's going through the Helix, and the patch that I'm using is a Plexi model, juiced up with a tube screamer in front of it. So let me mute my mic so you don't hear all that picking sound. So that's just going through the Helix with this, and I'm on the bridge pickup. If I go to the other pickup here, this is the the neck pickup. So this is bridge. And there's my my neck pickup. So that was the neck pickup, so you should be able to hear me again. Okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to switch to the Mesa. So what kind of cool, I guess, well, I don't know if you're going to really hear it in this environment as far as going through the mic and then through the internet, through what I've got going on here, but the Mesa compared to the Helix. In the room, you definitely hear a difference because you feel the speaker, you feel the amp, the natural compression and everything in the amp. So let me, okay, how can I do this? I'm gonna go to my amp. Here we go. So now I'm gonna go to the Mesa Boogie. Flick this on. Oh yeah, okay. It's gonna be, wow, okay, that's let me just turn down. Well, that was Mesa Boogie. A little different feeling than going through the Helix, even though the Helix is very versatile, awesome tool, great sounds. I can get all kinds of stuff, but in the room, when I'm playing my guitar and I've got the tube amp compared to the Helix, man, it's really different. I don't know if you guys feel that way, and I have got nothing against modelers and stuff. Like I said, I own the Helix, I bought the Helix and I love it, but man, it's a feel thing, I believe, when we're playing with the tube amp. There's definitely something to be said about that. Let me go back, and this was the Les Paul in a Mesa Boogie high gain. I put it on the high gain channel. The only pedals I'm using an EQ and a carbon copy delay pedal in the loop, and in the front of the amp I'm using an EP booster, and I've got a noise gate. I do have a compressor. The compressor isn't on right now. I use it, I think I'm going to use the compressor more for certain things and for certain guitars. If I'm using a Tele or something, I'll probably have the compressor on, but with the Les Pauls, the SGs and things like that, I don't need it. I think it sounds better without it. So again, let me see if I can. There's definitely a different feel for sure. Okay, so let me put this on standby for now, and I can go back here. So that works out better, I think, when I can mute the mic and you're not hearing all that pick noise. So let me go back to my shot, my front shot here. Obviously, I have to remember to do that. Sometimes when I'm switching angles, I can't see. That's the other thing I like to set up in the studio, is another monitor here, so that when I switch my shot, I can see what shot I'm on, because if my back is facing my computer, obviously I'm not seeing myself. So that's one thing. Let's have a look in the chat, see what we missed, if there's anything. Right here. Cool. All right, I'm just going back here a little bit just to make sure I didn't miss any of your comments or questions. Marsman says it's a beauty. Yeah, this Les Paul is amazing. I love it. I love it a lot. Let's see. How's that neck compared to the SG? You have like mine, same. It's pretty much the same. I would say, yeah. It's a little different feeling. I don't know if it's overall the guitar itself is so different that maybe when you pick it up it feels different, but I think the actual width and the feel of the neck are very, very similar, because that SG is a 60s profile neck as well. But they're all a little different. I mean, with Les Pauls even, I know we've discussed this in the past, you can go to a store and pick up any Les Paul. They can be from the same year, the same model and everything like that, and one might feel a little different than the other one. So I definitely suggest anybody looking to buy a Les Paul to go and try a few different ones, because even though they're the same and you might have tried one at a store and you liked it, and you go online and you find another one in a different color and you're going to order it, and you order it and it gets home, and then all of a sudden you're playing with it and it wasn't quite exactly the same. So I think they all have a little bit of variance, so find something that works for you. And that's why this one, when I picked it up, it felt perfect for me, so that's what I went with. R2 says that Les Paul is beautiful. Wrap it up, I'll take it. Yeah, now R2 really wants one, right? Jimmy T says killer. Shauna, hey Shauna Marie, how's it going? Nice to see you in here. There we go, look at that. Ouch, that price. Yeah, the price in Canada, we get hosed big time. I guess our dollar really takes it, right? And then you pay, I think we pay more taxes too. In Ontario, we pay 13% on everything as far as taxes go. So when you do the conversion to what the American price is, I think our dollar is only worth 72 or 73 cents American. So you do that conversion and then you add 13% of tax on that. That's what your retail stores are selling their gear for. So yeah. So getting this guitar at 20, I think I paid 2,400 with the tax and everything. I think it was like 26 around there, whatever. That was a steal for a standard like this, considering that they do sell for 3,600 plus tax right now. Let's see. Jimmy T says, you already price check today, Jason. Yeah, this guitar, I'm telling you right now, guys, if you can find the Les Paul that's like feels right for you, man, there's nothing like it. These are Burstbucker pickups. I had a Les Paul Classic at one time, a few months ago, and it had 57s in them or whatever. But these pickups I find these a lot better as well. I have a traditional back there as well. It has Burstbuckers, and that one and this one are similar in sound, a little bit different. This one apparently is supposed to have some weight relief in it, but and that one back there doesn't have weight relief. It's the traditional. It's not supposed to have weight relief. But when I pick up both of them, that traditional is lighter than this one. So it just depends on the piece of wood that they used and whatever the case may be. But that's what we're seeing right now, is even though some guitars have weight relief and some don't, if you pick up two that don't have weight relief, sometimes you'll see one's lighter than the other for whatever reason. So, but I love that traditional. That traditional, it has a different neck on it. It's very different. It's got a 50s neck on it, so it's a thicker neck. But for some reason, when I tried that one, I felt fine with it. So to me, the neck size or the width doesn't always bother me, like unless it's really different and it just doesn't work for me. But that's not a huge factor. I usually get along, like even my Friedman guitar back there has a big neck on it, but it plays amazing and I love it. So I guess I don't have that, that connection with neck sizes that bother me that much. Let's see what else we've got. This sounds so awesome. Well, thank you, Shauna. Thank you. That Mesa Boogie amp is, oh my God. The more I play with it, the more I get familiar with getting that tone out of it and making it work with the pedals and stuff that I have. And I don't have any overdrive pedals. I don't have any distortion pedals on there. I've got an EP booster, and that's it as far as pushing the tubes out a little bit. And that EQ makes a huge difference. I put that EQ in the loop and I've just set it up the way I like it. And if, like, I can show you, well, you'll hear it. Let me try this here. Hold on. Let me I'll mute my mic, and what I'll do is I'll just play a little bit with the EQ on, and then I'll turn it off, and you'll hear it instantly. So hold on. So that there is with the EQ on, okay? So I'm going to turn the EQ off. So I don't know if you guys could hear that coming through, but it is, yeah, you'll hear it because it's a difference in volume for sure, but it's also a very big difference in how the tone is shaped. For some reason, it's just it's magic as far as how different it is without that on and with it on. It's not just a volume boost, there's more to it than that. So I really, and I saw a guy, I went to a pedal demonstration once, and the guy had his pedal board and he was showing how he had it all hooked up, and he was using a Mesa Boogie, and as soon as he hit that EQ, I was like, oh my God, it's like a different amp. And he says, yeah, I always use it and go through the loop with it, and it's amazing. So ever since then, I knew that that was something I wanted, and I wanted to try it. So when I got the Mesa, I picked one up, and wow, I love it. I love that sound. Let's go back to the chat. Where's my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm just going back a little ways here. Bear with me, folks. Jason says, that's how I knew the finish, Jimmy T, when his video dropped. It was at work looking at my computer at the moment. Oh, yeah, yeah. Music Zoo has a white Kramer that's killer. Oh, really? I don't have a Kramer. I don't have any of those types of guitars. I've been pretty much a traditionalist. When I used to play bass, obviously, right? So I didn't have any guitars. I had a Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul that I had a while ago, that I had just for writing songs and stuff when I was playing in the band and stuff. But I was playing bass, so I didn't have a lot of guitars. I just had that one just for writing. And when I got back into music last year, these were the guitars that I really had in mind as far as the style that I liked and that kind of spoke to me, were the Les Pauls, the Telecasters, the SGIs. I like Strats, but I just don't like Strats controls, where the controls are, where that volume is. It bugs me. So I am looking around for a Strat style guitar, maybe a Kramer. I don't know. I'll have to see what's out there, and I'll have to try one. But I don't want that volume control so close to that bridge pickup, because I always hit it with my hand the way that I play. So that's something I'll definitely be looking into. Let's see. Shauna. Guitar Hack, how's it going, Guitar Hack? we're playing Les Pauls tonight, so you're in the right place. I might miss some of your questions here because I'm kind of like going through this chat, and there's probably some stuff that I missed. Guitar Hack is here. Okay, I saw that. Todd Flowers, how's it going? Dennis Bro, how's it going, buddy? Nice to see you guys popping in here this Monday. Really cool of you guys to come in. Bear with me, I'll catch up here and then we'll get going with some other stuff. Janice says quite different. Yeah, awesome difference. It's that EQ, it's really magical as far as what it's doing to my tone here in the room when you click on it, and it's like, wow. It's without it on now, it's like you can't unhear it. You need it in the amp now, because without it, it just doesn't sound the same. Let's see. Let me just, there, that might slow down. All right, let me just take these headphones off for a second. All right, you still hear me? Yeah, okay, cool. Gary Gold says, I have no content on my channel yet. I'm working on revamping. Oh, I'm sure you'll get stuff up there soon. There's Pro. Did someone say Les Paul? Yeah, Les Paul. This is the guitar for me these days, and really like it. I'm sure Guitar Hack knows all about it because I think he has the identical one. So R2, you better get on it if you want one. Let's see what else we've got here. AMS has the same guitar. What are you talking about, Jason? Wait, AMS has the same guitar for 1868, 2018 model, just an FYI. Are you talking about the Les Paul, Jason? Because if you are, that's awesome. That's an awesome deal. But again, it's like, well, I guess you could order something like that and get it in, and then as long as they have some sort of return policy, because if you get it and you're not in love with it, then you'd like to bring it back. That's why I like to go to the store and try a bunch of different Les Pauls if I'm going to buy one or if I'm looking for one. That's like to me, that's preferred method of doing it, because they're all a little different. They definitely are all a little different. So that's that. Make solution. So we're almost at the hour mark. If there's anything anything you guys want to ask or talk about, that's cool. Looks heavy without a handle carved into it. Jimmy T, I think I missed what you're talking about. They have a 45-day return policy. You just have to pay to ship it back. Yeah, well, that's not bad then. I mean, for 1,800 bucks, that's amazing, because you're never going to find that around here unless you're really lucky. There we go. Denny Allen, Denny Bro. Todd Flowers says they have a 45-day return, so that's good. Yeah, most of the stores here have 30 days. Few of them have like 14, 15 days or something like that. Some of the bigger stores do have the 30 days, so that's good. But I usually don't. I've never ordered a guitar online, so I don't know how that works out, you know, if that works well. But I've always gone to the store and tried a bunch of them out and then picked something I like. The Guitar Pit got a guitar that I'm really interested in. He bought it just recently. It's a Sir Andy Wood Telecaster, 2 humbuckers in it. And I was looking at that guitar months back now, a few months back, and that really is a beautiful guitar. And I know the Sir that I have, I really like it a lot. And he got a smoking deal on that thing. So, but I can't pull the trigger on anything like that right now. Gary Holt says the red guitar in my profile picture was gifted to me by Gary Kramer. Oh, cool. That's awesome. I'd love to try a Kramer. I mean, I've tried one back in like the 80s, I think was the last time I tried one. And, you know, obviously back then they were one of the biggest players in the industry, and I was into 80s metal and that style of music. So, you know, obviously these guitars spoke to me a lot. But I was a bass player, so I wasn't looking to buy guitars back then. But I did try one, and they played awesome. So I don't think I've seen any in the music stores around here. We have a big music store here called Cosmo. I'm sure you've heard me speak about it many times. It's like our biggest music store, and I don't remember seeing a Kramer there. They might have one, they might have a few, but I don't remember if they had them. They should have them because they're a Gibson dealer, and I think every Kramer is all through Gibson now. So maybe they'll start getting some in, and we'll be able to try some stuff out. Okay, Jimmy T says because the gems have a handle carved into them. Gotcha. Okay, now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, the gems, I'm not a big fan of those. I think the necks are just way too thin on the ones that I picked up. I like to have, there's a certain thickness that needs to be there for me. I like the heaviness of it. So they never really appealed to me, those ones, but I'm sure they're great guitars. Tons of people use them, and Steve Vai, I mean, can't argue with that. Brian Cote, are you checking out? I am blowout sale this week. Oh, Long McQuaid blowout sale this week. Oh, I didn't know they were having a sale this week. I'm not really looking for anything. The thing, I'll be getting my Universal Audio aux box, the amp thing, this week, and that's kind of the last piece that I'm going to be looking at getting right now. Not really looking for anything else guitar wise. I always say that, but you know what, if you walk in somewhere and you try something and you love it or whatever, sometimes you walk out with it. That's what happened with that Friedman. I wasn't planning on getting any other guitars right away this year, and I tried that Friedman and I fell in love with it. So I did sell a guitar in order to get that one, obviously, but you never know, right? But I will check out that Long McQuaid sale to see what kind of deals they have on, for sure. Todd Flowers says, Jason Wade, they don't charge me return shipping. Oh, that's good. If you don't have to pay the return shipping, then there's no real risk, right? You just get the guitar, try it. If you like it, good. If you don't, you send it back. It doesn't cost you anything. Denny Allen says, Brian Cote, tell us a story from the road. A story from the road. All right, let me think about it. And let me think of something here, and I'll get back to you on that one. I'm sure. Yeah, I have to think. Gary Holt says, Brian Cote, you should check out the Leo Scala version of the Les Paul. It's super thin and super light. Okay. Leo Scala. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with it, but I will keep an eye out and look online, maybe get some more information about it, for sure. Jason Wade says they deduct it from the first payment made whenever they credit your account. That's what they told me. Okay. Guitar Hacks has never seen a Kramer at Cosmo yet. Yeah, I haven't seen one either, and I'm surprised because they carry everything. So it's they'll probably be getting some soon. I'm assuming that some of the new model releases and stuff, they'll be getting some. But who knows, right? We'll have to wait and see. I'm planning to go to Sweetwater this summer for their event that they have every summer. If I can work it out with the scheduling and stuff like that, because with my work and stuff, you never know if I've got production on the go or if I've got a photography thing I have to do. So as we get closer to the summer months, I'll know more, but that's definitely on my list of places that I want to go to, and I'm sure we'll be able to try everything there as far as guitars, because they carry everything. So I am planning to do that. Guitar Hack, anything that looks, feels right. Les Paul, custom Black Boot. Yeah, Black Beauty would be nice. The customs are super heavy though. If that's an issue for you or not, I don't know. Todd Flowers, I sent 2 back, but got identical ones again. Maybe that's why. Okay. Not sure. Oh, if you exchange, they don't charge, but if you return, they charge. Okay. Brian Cote, you're going to try to pick up another Les Paul. So Guitar Hack, you're going to try to pick up another Les Paul like soon at the Long Lake Quaid thing? I don't know. I think I'm waiting to see those new Les Pauls. I want to try the new standards that are coming out, the 50s and the 60s, before I do anything with Les Pauls again. Right now I'm okay with what I have, but I do want to check out those new ones, depending on what, you know, kind of prices we're going to be dealing with. They're supposed to have gone down, but I haven't seen anything listed in Canada as far as pricing for those new guitars yet. Hey Ben, how's it going? I caught your live show today with Henning, so that was awesome. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. Let's see, Ben is there. Guitar Hack is trying to flog that Les Paul. Yeah, Guitar Hack is he's got it in his system now. He's not going to be able to get that out until he actually gets his Les Paul. Once you have something in your head and you really want it, it's hard to get it out for sure. But you might want to wait. You might want to wait for the new ones. Just saying. Let's see. I'm still thinking of that story, the on the road story. So Dennis, I think it was Dennis that asked, or somebody just asked that anyway. Sorry, forgot. My memory's not the best, but I will think of something here for sure. I'm trying to think. It's been so long. It's been let's see, 11 years since I've performed or toured or anything with a band anyway. So time flies. It's crazy how fast time flies. And it seems to go faster as we get older. It seems like as kids and stuff, you wait forever for 1 year to go by. I remember being 15 years old, I couldn't wait to be 16 to get my driver's license, and it took forever. And then once that came around, I couldn't wait to be 18 so I could, you know, buy beer legally in the province that I was in. And you know, that seemed to take forever. And it seems after you've got some of these milestones or some of these things that you're looking to reach as a kid, as you get older, time just friggin' flies by. Like, it's unbelievable. Last year just kind of flew by. Let's see. I'm just looking at the chat. Oh, Dennis says Road Story played a club where they had wet t-shirt contest. Great giggle, but my girl was the bartender, so had to be. yeah, I played a few of those types of situations. Never bothered me though. It was part of the fun. We played a bar frequently actually, and it wasn't too far from here. A bar called it's in Bradford, Ontario, and it's called the Village Inn. Maybe Guitar Hack knows about it. But man, that place, it was awesome. Like, it had a nice stage, great audio, but it was known to be like, it was the only place in town type of thing. So Fridays and Saturdays this place was packed, but it got rowdy. And on the bottom floor of that bar was a strip joint, I guess. So it was just insane, and there was always fights, but they loved the band, and so that was a good thing. You always wanted to get out of there at the end of the night, right, without getting into any crap. So but I've heard some stories of other bands that have gone into that place, and if they didn't like you or whatever, it was a rough night. But yeah, I played some of these places, man. Wow. But knock on wood, everything went well, and we were always called back and had a great time. But some places were rough, man. Let's see. Guitar Hack. Yeah, it says, yeah, if I get there and it's still there. Are you talking about the classic that you went to check out last week or the week before? It's a nice guitar, but like you said, is it a whole lot different than what you have, right? Ben says they play nice. I'm not sure if you're talking about Kramer's. Yeah, no problem, Ben. I always enjoy your live shows. So definitely, if you're, I think everybody in here knows about your live shows. So if you haven't, go check out Ben's stuff. It's really cool. Shauna says time certainly flies. Yeah, it's unbelievable how fast things are going these days. Hit 50, then you want to go backwards. Yeah, I'm almost there, buddy. I'm almost there. It would be nice to go back to being, I'd say 25, 26, that era, but know everything that I know now as far as, like, you know, things that you might have not regret, but, you know, we as kids, you know, you make mistakes and you do stuff, and just some of the stuff that you know now that you could go back and relive that time. That would be awesome. I wish I was I was born in '69, so I grew up the '80s, but I think if I would have been in California in the '80s or whatever, that would have been my goal or my prime area, because I was playing in bands and stuff in where I was in New Brunswick, but there wasn't a big market for any of that stuff. So getting discovered or all that stuff, the stuff that was going on in LA at that time was amazing as far as that scene, and I would have loved to experience that firsthand. But I was still in high school doing my thing, and by the time I left, I graduated in '88, and then I packed everything up and came to Toronto. That scene was winding down as far as the '80s scene and that stuff, and that's when Seattle came on board and we started to see Nirvana and that stuff. So that changed the whole industry. Not that I have anything against that music, because I was a fan of that music and I played that music and, you know, tons of stuff like that, but I was more of, you know, that '80s stuff was big for me. Let's see. Todd Flowers says, I agree with time flying when we get older. Yeah, it's really, really. Guitar X says, small towns are nuts. Lots of bouncer action. Yeah, man. And as the night goes on, it seems to ramp up even more and more and more. And then the bar owners would even say sometimes, because our last set was pretty heavy and pretty intense, and then we, on our encores, always included a song, usually from Tool, or most of the time we ended with the Rage Against the Machine song or something like that, and that crowd was obviously already hyped up, hammered and rough to begin with, and once you started playing that kind of music, they were like all over the place. So we got told a few times by some of the managers, you know, don't play that song at the end, blah blah blah, because there's this damage and this. So, and we ignored it sometimes. Nothing happened, thank God, but you know, you just get in your own little head and everybody's asking for that song and you just go with it, right? So, but it was sometimes it got dicey for sure with some of the owners. They would call the agent on Monday and say, listen, your band that you had here, we told them not to play this, blah blah, and they played. Then the agent would say, well, listen, did anything bad happen? No. Was your bar packed? Did they sell lots of beer and everything? Yeah. Then they would get, you know, they would be fine. They'd call us back. Let's see. Ben says the 2019 Gibsons play great. Yeah, well, I'm assuming they do. Well, from what I've heard anyway, everybody seems to be really raving about the new Gibsons and the new models. So I'm looking forward. I think in Canada we're probably looking at spring, summer by the time we start seeing the models show up at the stores. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm really there's a couple of Friedman guitars that I want to try. One is that Les Paul kind of looking style. I think it's the Metro D or something like that. And I think they have one at Cosmo, I believe, when I checked online, if they still have it. I'd love to try that. And again, I'm looking for, I don't have a Strat, but I don't want a Fender Strat just because of where the controls and stuff are. But Friedman makes kind of a Strat style guitar, and the controls aren't as close to the pickups and stuff, and I love my Telly, the Friedman, so I'd like to try that as well, to see if that would be an option as a Strat type of guitar that I might be, might be interested in getting. I like the Cali, but I just don't like the Floyd. Well, not that I don't like the Floyd Rose, it's just I've never really had anything with a Floyd, and it just seems, maybe complicated. I don't know. I'm pretty simple when it comes to guitar setup, so I've always kind of stayed away from the Floyd Rose style guitars. But I might try one. I don't know. I might try one because the Calis are really nice. I know that the Guitar Pit bought a Cali with a hardtail on it, and that's something I would love to have. But those you can't find. If they have them in stock, the Calis, they always have the Floyd Rose on them. And you have to special order the Friedman with the hardtail, and that's a lot of money. So who knows? We'll see. Janice says, I feel sorry for the youth. Yeah. You know what? And that's the other thing, right? The music scene these days, man. The Grammys were on last night. I don't know if anybody watched that, but I didn't watch it, but I had it play. It was playing in the background, and I was kind of, looking over once in a while. But there's nothing that I connect with in music these days, or that music, or that even awards shows in general have gone so far. Like, I guess they've always been kind of that way, but at least back in the day, like 80s and early 90s and stuff, you had a couple of rock acts that were performing, doing the real thing. It was just, there was something about that. Now, not at all. And all this stuff is all, and we were talking about these backing tracks and these scandals that are going on now with some bands. And Guitar Hack, you weren't in the chat, but we were talking about Kiss, lip syncing and all this stuff. So it's so watered down. I'm so disconnected by it. And then last night I was watching and I saw that Red Hot Chili Peppers were playing, and I'm like, okay, well, at least here's a real band, real musicians. Let's see what this. But they played some song that I guess it might have been a new song. They were performing with another artist, a pop artist, and I don't know who it was or whatever, because I don't follow the pop artists and things like that's not the music that I listen to, so I didn't know who it was. So they, I guess, collaborated with this guy, and I don't know. I was not into it at all. It sounded so bad. I don't know. Maybe you guys feel differently about that, but I didn't enjoy that, and I was looking forward to seeing the Red Hot Chili Peppers because at least it's a real band. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do like some of their stuff, and I like, Flea's an awesome bass player, and their drummer's amazing. They're great musicians, so I was expecting more, I guess. Let's see. Dennis Bros had played a club that had to be mafia owned, was scared shitless all night, couldn't get out of there. Yeah. Sometimes you play these places, right, and you have no idea what to expect, and you get there and it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be dicey. Thank God we never had real crazy issues, but yeah, we've had a couple experiences like that for sure. We played a lot of back in the day too. We would get hired to play motorcycle rallies, because I'm a big motorcycle guy, so a lot of guys know me from that. So they would always hire the band to come out and play some of these motorcycle rallies, these big awesome rallies and stuff, 5,000-6,000 people at these concerts. But that crowd, you'd expect, okay, this is like, bikers and they're getting rowdy, and then there's different gangs. Like you had some Hell's Angels on one side and Satan's Choice on another side, and you never knew what to expect. But we never ran into issues with those gigs. Those were some of the best gigs that I played, because the people there were into the music. They respected the bands a lot. They were grateful that we were there playing the music that they loved, and it was kind of the opposite of what people would expect playing something like that with that particular crowd of people. So you never know, right? Shauna says, I'm class of 88 too, we rock. Yeah, see? There you go, class of 88. Guitar Hack says, briefly played in a 90s cover band, painful outside of a couple of bands. Yeah, I just wasn't, I didn't mind some of it. I like Soundgarden, some of it. I don't like all of it. Like Nirvana, a little bit here and there. I'm trying to think of a band that in the 90s that came out. Pearl Jam, I was so on it. Like, they're all great bands. It's just, you know, you like what you like. You grow up with something. There's something that speaks to you musically that you resonate with. And that period, that 90s to 2000, there wasn't a whole lot that I connected with as far as, you know, really deeply connected with. Then at the tail end of that, I got into some bands that were coming out, like Disturbed, Godsmack. I played in a Godsmack tribute band for a while too, and I really liked that band. Some of that stuff came out, and that kind of, you know, got us going. And if you listen to my band SMEER, a lot of influences were around that time, because that's when that band started, was 98. And we recorded our first CD in 2003, so that music was kind of in that realm, right? So, but you know, there's all kinds, like COC was out. There was, you know, Zach Wild's band was pretty good. It was a different time. Gary, California was great in the 80s. I got to see Rat, Motley Crue, Cinderella. See, that would be awesome. I would have loved to experience that. Even to this day, like I wish I would have gone back. I would have gone in the 80s just for a vacation or something, just to walk the strip, to experience that lifestyle or that nightlife. And it wasn't even nightlife, it was like constant, right? It was just amazing, apparently, from the stories I've heard and what I've seen as far as the reports of the people that lived through it. So yeah, you're lucky, Gary, that you got a chance to experience that. That would have been something for sure. Let's see, Guitar Hack Cosmo has one. I played it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see it last time I was there, so maybe, I'm not sure if they might have had it, but I wasn't looking at that particular guitar model, so I must have missed it. And we're talking about the Friedman Les Paul kind of style guitar. I think it's a Metro D, it's called. It says, Ben Kuhn says, I have problems playing Strats too, but the Friedman wasn't as bad. Yeah, I think so too. I will try some. Cosmo, I think, has 2 of the Strat style Friedmans there, so I will try one for sure. Chris has a awesome Friedman hardtail. Yes, I agree. Absolutely agree, Brian. Kiss, yeah, Guitar Hack, you missed my my first part of the stream. Go back and look at it, because we discussed the latest Kiss fiasco of the lip syncing. They just started their tour again here in Vancouver, and they got caught again pulling shenanigans with the lip syncing, and we looked at the video on the stream here, and it's quite obvious what's going on. You hear Paul scream, and he's, you know, 10 feet from the mic, and he's looking back at the drummer, because I guess the drummer missed the cue and the track went, and basically the vocals were going. He wasn't even near the mic. So yeah, so go back a little bit. We're not going to revisit that at this point, but definitely go back and revisit that if you want to hear a rant about bands that go on stage and use backing tracks, not just backing tracks, but the actual lead vocal tracks, and just lip sync it. That's it's one thing to have a backing track that just kind of gives you some backing vocals and some support there. That's fine, you know, you're gonna need that sometimes. But to replace your actual vocal and just lip syncing the whole thing, you're not even singing, I don't know, that's too much for me. I mean, Paul, okay, definitely has issues with his voice. He's getting older. He's pushed it for many years. I understand that. But at some point you say, well, we're done. You know, thank you. It was an awesome ride, and, you know, thank you to the fans type of thing. Or just try to get through it. And if it sounds a little off here and there, fans will respect you for at least being authentic and singing, not lip syncing. Dennis Burrow says pop music today sucks, lip syncing, and they're more worried about dancing and all that stuff. That's true. Shauna says, no, I didn't watch the Grammys. The music of today is not great in my estimation. Yeah, I agree. You're not wrong there for sure. Let's see, the chat here is still going. See what I mean, Guitar Hack? We talked about this on your stream the other day, where you had like 50 some people or whatever, and you were following the stream, and you were, you know, getting through it. And we talked about Phil McKnight having like 800 people, and he's trying to follow that stream. I'm having trouble following it with just you guys in here, right? So, hey, the Guitar Pit, we were just talking about you. Ben Coombs says, love playing the biker community. Yeah, they're great. They're great gigs. I always love that. Biker guys and gals are mostly cool in my experience. That's my experience too, but you know, it's just a perception that the people have sometimes. Is, oh, you're playing there, watch out, you know, you're gonna get, you know, they're all rough and fighting and disrespectful and that, but my experience has always been totally opposite. Guitar Hack says, yeah, I'm going to see Kiss in March. I know I'm a sucker for it. Well, I mean, you know what you're getting going in, so you just want to go for the experience, and I understand that. That's totally cool, but I don't know. I'm a big Kiss fan, and that's what got me into music too. But as soon as Ace and Peter left, I was pretty much not really into it anymore. But I wish they wouldn't, you know, sell the fans a bill of goods, you know. That's just my take on it. But there's nothing wrong. Go see them and enjoy it. It could be the last time you see them live, so you know, it's an experience, right? Guitar Pit, we saw you there. Yeah, Guitar Pit, I saw your latest SMEER guitar. Man, that's intriguing. I like that a lot, that Andy Wood. Oh man, I was looking at that guitar months ago, and that's a nice guitar. So I'm looking forward to your review on it. And if you do sell it, let me know. And I'm not looking to get another guitar right now, and I've got, you know, money tied up in some other things, but man, that's a tempting one. Just let me know. Ben Coombs, that Milli Vanilli, yeah, we spoke about Milli Vanilli in the news segment that I had in the beginning of the stream. We talked about that. That Milli Vanilli scandal was 30 years ago, believe it or not, when they got caught with their backing tracks. So it's funny. Let's see what else we have. Janice says my voice is improving with age. Well, that's good. That's good. It's usually the opposite, right? Marsman, I've seen it. There are complications. My friends sent me. Yeah, compilations. Yeah, there's videos of it all over the place. But this latest one they just released it last week because the concert was in Vancouver last week. So that's the one I saw recently. Gene will replace him if he's not careful. Yeah. I heard this is a Friedman. Yeah. There's a couple of Friedman people here that are jonesing for some of those guitars. That's for sure. Guitar Pit says, you ever see those guys on Twitch that are playing incredibly difficult video games and interacting with 10K? Yeah. I can't imagine. Yeah, some of these guys are really, I don't know how they do it. I can't, interacting with a chat that's going by so fast and has tons of people, I don't know how they keep track. I think you need some sort of, like your moderator, either that would be Jason or somebody, just picking out key questions and components, just keeping track of it and copying and pasting it into another document, and then you could have that opened up on your computer so the host could see those questions and just focus on those instead of trying to follow the chat if you've got that many people in and it's just flying by. I think that would probably be the way that I would approach it if I ever got to a point where I had that many people in a chat room. I would look at getting some help from maybe a moderator or some people like that, because man, it's hard enough. It's hard enough just to speak to you guys and stay on a topic and, you know, focus on that, and then keep looking up and down at that chat and trying to address everybody and get everybody's questions in. So yeah, I can't imagine, you know, having 1,000 people or so. That's insane. 50 people for me is like, I don't know. I think I'd have a hard time with that. Let's see. Jason says it's the Harley Benton SMEER knockoff hater, the Guitar Pit. Yeah. The Guitar Pit has some nice guitars. He seems to be getting one every week. Sean, Janice totally agree. Guitar Pit says it's got a lovely finish and pickguard on it. Yeah, that's a nice guitar you got there. Guitar Act says, I go for Paul. I've met all the members present and past except Eric Carr. Okay. Guitar Pit. Oh, Jason says the Guitar Pit, that new SMEER is unbelievable, dude. Yeah, Jason, but you have, if he's selling it or something, he's got to come to me first, and if I don't take it, then he can go to you. Deal? Let's make that deal right here, right now, okay? I have to have first dibs on it. And if for some reason when he decides to sell it or post it or whatever, and I can't get it that time, then okay, it's free game. Let me just go back a little bit, trying to keep up here. R2 says, Guitar Hack, I sent you an email. Okay. Ben Coombe says, Friedman's are my dream guitars. Well, you know what, Ben? I'm sure you'll get one someday. If you find the right one and it's just the right time and you can do it, go for it, because they are awesome guitars. They really are. Let's see. Guitar Pit says it's probably a lengthy love letter. Yeah, I guess R2 and Guitar Hack are sending each other love letters or emails or something like that that have something to do with love letters. I don't know. I'm out of that loop, so don't ask me what that is. R2 says, I'll buy that Friedman when you're done with it. Yeah, that Friedman's nice, the hardtail, for sure. Todd Flowers, Rickenbacker, he says, Rickenbackers are my dream guitar for the moment. Really? I've never tried a Rick. And I played bass for many years, and the Rickenbacker bass was something that you know, Lemmy played, and a whole bunch of other, Getty and some other players that I liked that played them. I never tried, I think, yeah, I did try one. It wasn't my thing. I was into the Ernie Balls and the style of music I was playing. Those were the basses that I gravitated to. But it seems, if I remember right, those necks were really small on those, or thin, or they felt really thin or whatever. But apparently they're really good basses. Their pickups are different too, right? So they're kind of a high end, or they don't have a whole lot of low end. They have a lot of mid and stuff. So, but no, I've never really tried a lot of Rickenbacker. Let's see. R2, you know, Guitar Pit says R2, R3, everyone wants to buy the telly already. Yeah, well, don't sell the telly to anybody until you talk to me, then you can move. I was the first one on your video in the comments, so you gotta keep that in mind. I'm just kidding, dude. You can sell it to anybody you want. Not really, but let's see. Marsman says, Ben Coombe, the Friedmans are awesome, but what about the Gristle Master? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Ben Combs says, I hit 80 last night. It was crazy. I couldn't do 8. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do 50. I can't do 25. I don't know how people are doing that much. Jason says, Brian, you can have it. I'm getting a Helix. Are you really getting a Helix? They're great. I mean, hey, I'm not going to discourage you from getting a Helix, that's for sure. But I've been, the track that I just put out today with the Kansas, the Carry On My Wayward Son, I did a track using the Helix and that patch that I played earlier, the Plexi patch with the overdrive. I did one track doing that, a left and right guitar, and then I did a separate track guitar using the Mesa. And as soon as you put that amp, that Mesa, into that mix, it was, oh my God, it was amazing. It's just a totally different beast. So I like both tools a lot. So it's nice to have that option. And I know that, Jason, you have some amps, some tube amps. I think you've got a Marshall or something, if I'm correct. So if you're going to be starting to do some recording and stuff, if you can, depending on where you live and stuff, if you can't crank an amp and mic a cabinet, obviously it's not going to work for you. But if you can, definitely blend those two, like get a good tone with your 11 rack or with your Helix, and do one track left and right guitars with that, and then either pick a different guitar and go through the amp and do that, and then blend the two in the mix, and you're going to get a huge sound. It's really a good way of doing it. But if you're in an apartment or something, I guess you really can't mic a cab and, you know, blast it out, which is then you would probably need something like this aux box or these other tools that are out there where you can plug your amp in, crank that amp, go through you know, go right to your interface with a speaker simulation and IR or something, and you might get similar type of feel with that. So you definitely look into that. Denny Allen says Kiss was on The Price is Right last week in one of the showcases at the end with guitar. Are you serious? Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. There's something you don't hear every day. Kiss was on The Price is Right. Nice. Didn't know that. There we go. Hey Amanda, how's it going? Nice to see you in here. I heard you sing on one of your videos on Facebook the other day. That was awesome. I liked it. You should sing with your brother once in a while. Go do an unplugged gig or something. It'll be Ben and Amanda's coffee pub or something. We'll find a name for it. So that'd be definitely cool. So there you go, Ben. You got to start playing the acoustic and learn some good songs and get Amanda in there, and then we'll film it and we'll release it. How's that? Everybody on board? Let's see. Guitar Hack. I get dibs on the Cali. That's fine. You can have the dibs on the Cali, Guitar Hack, but I get dibs on the SMEER. Let's see. I'm just going through the chat. Man, this thing is moving. Hold on. If I ever catch up here. Jason, it's great call thing. Okay. I'm going to get down to the bottom here. See, Todd Flowers, I'm talking about a 360 or similar, not a bass. Okay, they have some small necks, but I found a pretty good size neck at a local on a local one. Okay, yeah, we don't have many Rickenbacker dealers around here, so I wouldn't know, but I'm sure they're great guitars. Jason says the Helix HX doesn't have the amps. No, it just has the Helix HX. I think is only the effects, so the chorus, delays, and all that stuff, which is fine. If you want the amp simulation, you have to get the Helix LT, or the Helix Stomp. And the Helix Stomp is really good. The only thing you have to remember with the Helix Stomp is it's a smaller unit. You can only have 6 blocks in it, which is fine. You can get some great patches just using the 6 blocks. That's not a problem, but just be aware of that. Ben Coombe says she's a great singer. Yeah, we heard it. So yeah, Amanda and Ben get together and record a song. There you go. That's your task for 2019. By the end of 2019, you have to have at least one original song recorded and released. How's that? Yeah, okay. So Jason saw the video on Facebook. Awesome, awesome. Cool, cool. Okay, I'm at the bottom. I think I'm at the bottom. Cool. Guitar Hack. Jason wants to borrow your eyeshadow, Amanda. I don't know, Guitar Hack, you might need it if you're into Kiss that much, and when you go see Kiss, you should put makeup on. You can go as Ace Frehley. I know a lot of people who do that. Okay. Jason Wade says, Brian, you're giving up some patches, right? Yeah, I can give you some patches, no problem. Quite honestly, I use, I've created probably 5 patches that I go, you know, they're the only ones I kind of use. I after I found how to tweak them the way I like them, I stuck with those. And the best way to do them, I find that Jason Sedite is a guy that I follow that does a lot of Helix stuff. And I created one based on his instructions and how he does it and stuff, and it worked out really nice. I like the ones that I've got, and I kind of stick with those. And the way that I do it is I have one for every one of my guitars, so a telly will have slightly different, but for the most part I stick with, you know, just the one patch or whatever, and just kind of use a combination of those for different guitars, and they work out well. Let's see. Gary Holt says, Brian Cody, if you're a bass player, then you're gonna drool at Eric's stream tomorrow. Yeah, and I think I know what you're talking about, because I did see a little clip of something about that. I won't give it up here, but definitely watch Eric's stream tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, because there'll be some interesting stuff. Amanda says, sounds like work. Yeah, you've got your work cut out for you. You've got till the end of the year. The community is expecting an original song from you and Ben. It's not too much to ask, really. Let's just say that. Jason says, not yet. Helix LT is much more accessible. Yeah, the LT is awesome. That's what I use. I use an LT. It's the same thing. You get the same engine, the same amount of effects and amps and everything. Ben says, and a cover tune for a B-side. Yeah, do an original and a cover song. R2 says, Jason Wade is on fire. Helix hours with Jason Wade. Jason and Eric can team up and have a Helix hour discussion. Amanda says, Clayton James Hicks wants me to sing a Huey Lewis song for him. All right, that could work. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. R2 says, I have patches, Jason, on my jacket. That's awesome. Todd Flowers, oh, I want to see pics. Guitar Hack. Yeah, Guitar Hack is going to dress like Ace Frehley for the Kiss concert. And is it in March you're going? So we're going to be expecting pictures of that. Original outfit or unmasked era. No, you have to put the original outfit, the one with the... Here, I'll show you which one. If I can get this up here. The Guitar Hack, you got to get this outfit right here. All right? You have to have that. I'm sure if you don't have it, there's somebody on YouTube that can make it for you. Let's put it that way. Janice says, Eric, who? Are you talking about whose show? It's called EVH TV and Gear. So just put that in YouTube and you'll find the channel. He's got a cool live stream, or I think it's a premiere, but it's a recorded piece that he did while in California, so it's going to be good. Dennis says, no pressure. Amanda and Ben. Yeah, no pressure. Ace outfit. I'd probably go Destroy Your Era. Yeah, that one will work too. That one would work too. God, Guitar Hack in a costume doing a stream. There we go. Now we're talking. See, that's what we got to think outside the box, people. Let's try something different. Somebody mentioned earlier for my newscast, I should have like a newscaster jacket, like a green jacket or something like that, just to kind of spice it up. Let's do some stuff like that. I don't have a jacket like that, so I can't pull that off. I used to dress as Kiss when I was a kid for Halloween all the time, and I was Paul Stanley. And it's funny, I was Paul Stanley all the time that we were dressing up as Kiss, but I was a bass player, so it's kind of weird. And the guy that was a guitar player in our town always dressed as Gene Simmons. I don't know how that worked out, why that was the thing. I think it was more about the characters. I was either Paul Stanley or Ace Frehley, which is weird because I was a bass player, so I should have wanted to be Gene, but no. Guitar Hack, I just cut off all my hair. Well, that's okay. They sell wigs. You can get a wig. Guitar Hack needs smoke coming out of the neck pickup. We'll get this done. In one way or the other, we're going to get this done. So just let's get our heads together, and we'll make this happen. One day we're going to see Guitar Hack do his stream, come on live as Ace Frehley, full makeup, costume, and maybe a Les Paul that has fire and sparks coming out of the neck pickup. Maybe. That's a little pushing it, but I think we can get the costume and the makeup thing going, and the wig. Let's hope. You'd get a lot of views, and you would probably have a huge audience for that live stream. So hey, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Guitar Hack says, I started for Halloween as Peter, then Gene, then Paul. So you've gone through most of them. Amanda says, I would totally watch a Kiss stream. Be careful what you say on Brian's show. Yeah, exactly. We should do something. We should do a hangout one day, all as Kiss characters. It seems like a lot of work, though. I remember when I had to put that makeup on. I wasn't putting it on. Somebody else did it for me. Either my friend's mom was really good at doing the makeup. So the guy that was Gene, his mom always did our makeup and stuff. I tried doing it one year. Oh my God. I looked like I had a black eye. I tried to do the star. And I think you know what? I'll try to do it for my next stream, but if I can, I'll do it in the future streams for sure. I have pictures of when I was a kid dressed up as Kiss with my buddies and stuff, so I'll try to find them. I think I still have them here in a box somewhere, but I'll have to dig them out. But let's see. Guitar Pit says, Guitar Hack, do you want one of those Gene Simmons Axe guitars? Yeah, no. Guitar Hack says, sorry to disappoint, but it ain't happening. Come on, Guitar Hack, you got to get into it, brother. We can do this. A Kiss Summit, yeah. A Kiss Summit with YouTubers in our community as a hangout. Pick a date, and we'll make it happen. God, that would be funny. Amanda says, I'm the only one that would rush to it. No, I don't think you're the only one that would rush to it. I think a lot of people would, because man, that would be hilarious. Gene Simmons would shut. Yes, R2, you're right. You're right. You're right. I wouldn't be surprised that just because I spoke of Kiss tonight and said some of the things I said, that if you see my YouTube channel disappear for some reason, let's think of Gene, because Gene has a way of not putting up with this type of stuff. So yeah, that's funny. Kiss, Guitar Hack says, I'll do a Kiss show, but just talking Kiss. No, you have to dress up. You have to do the whole thing. You can even record it. You know what you should do? Dress up as Ace, do your whole thing, record the whole video, then go live and lip sync it. Just lip syncing your show, and then you're good to go. Yeah, Guitar Hack, you're gonna hate me after this stream, right? Will loves Kiss. R2, well, R2 Hack. R2 locking only because he wasn't sent the link to jump in. Yeah, Gene is a character, that's for sure. Well, all right, I think we've been going long enough, and we've been over an hour and a half here, which tends to be my regular time zone for this live stream. Again, thank you everybody for joining. This is episode 4, so everything's going well. I'm happy with the way things are going with the show and the setup, and you know, hanging out with you guys for a few hours on a Monday night is totally awesome with me. And next week, episode 5, I don't have anything on the agenda for that yet, but as the week goes through, I find some stuff. Hopefully I'll have my new aux box by next week, and I can show you some stuff with that, because that'll be really cool. I can't wait to get that thing. Hopefully it's cool. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but everything I've heard about it is really cool. And that Mesa Boogie amp, I'm telling you, I had it cranked in here the other day tracking that song that I released. And again, if you guys haven't seen the new video I've released today, it's a cover from Kansas, Carry On My Wayward Son. You know, go have a look at it. And the guitars you hear on that, one track was done with the Helix, but the majority of what you're hearing as far as guitar tone is that Helix. So so definitely check that out. But once I get the aux box and I'm able to crank that amp up to halfway up or what, and get those tubes really cooking, it'll be massive. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will definitely keep you up to date. And let's see these last little things here on the chat before we sign off for the evening. Guitar Pit says, I'm into the KISS live stream, hit me up. Yeah, we will definitely, and we're gonna really try to make that happen. So Guitar Hack, I'm sorry you can't back out of this one. You're in. So thank you, R2, thank you, Todd, thank you, Ben, Amanda, Jimmy T, Guitar Hack, Shauna, thank you very much. I really enjoy doing these, so let's do this again next Monday. Sometimes I go live on the week, like last week I did a Wednesday show, wasn't planned, so sometimes I need to test something, so I just go live and test it live. So I tend to do that. So I try to do that when nobody else is streaming from our community. So if I want to test something on a Wednesday or something like that, and nobody else is on, then I'll do that. But for the most part, I stick to my Monday night schedule. So thank you for joining. Spread the word. Let's get some people. And I think, oh yeah, Guitar Hack is having a stream tonight. So Joe Wentz is doing a premiere in 10 minutes. Cool. And Guitar Hack is doing a live stream at 10 with Lando 27 Music, I believe. So that'll be awesome. So I'll definitely watch that. And I hope to see all you guys there again. Rick, how's it going? Thank you, Rick Hefner. Thank you, David Ennis. Thank you. Okay, so until next time, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe out there in this crazy weather. And we're going to have another storm tonight, so that'll be fun. And we'll see what happens in the morning. And we'll catch you within the community in different live streams. And that's it. Hope you had fun. I had a great time. And we'll see you next Monday if we don't see you before that. All right? Take care, and thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Much appreciated. Have a good night.